Since we're done with the question paper solving techniques, which was knowledge, analysis, application, and evaluation, now we can start the question paper. So let's start with the first question paper. The code is 7115, variant 12, May, June 2022. Okay, so the first question is in your screen, which is AHG is established business as it has been operating for a long time. Here, let's talk about the applications. Okay, I have underlined the applications and I have also changed the color and the font shape. So AHG is established business. This is the first application. It sells garden products. This is the second application, including plants and flowers. This is the third application. AHG uses competitive pricing. This is the fourth one, the fourth application. The business has 4 managers and 30 employees. These are the applications. Also, AHG managers use delegation. The finance manager is analyzing AHG's statement of financial position as she is interested in its liquidity. So liquidity is the ability to pay your short-term debts. And extract is also given in table 1.1. Non-current assets, which are also known as fixed assets, 800. And there are also 3 other zeros, which means 800,000. And current assets 660, current liabilities 600. Okay, so let's move on to the first question. Moving on to the first question, which is define current liabilities, and this is of 2 marks. So the answer is current liabilities are short-term debts owed by a business to be repaid in less than 1 year. So since these are current liabilities, we have to pay them in less than 1 year. Okay, so this is question number 1A. 1B is identify 2 examples of non-current assets. This is also of 2 marks. By the way, 1A, it was of 2 marks, and here we will be only using the knowledge. In 1B, we will also be using only knowledge. Okay, so knowledge number 1 is the example number 1, which is land, building, factory, property, or warehouses. Okay, this was the first example of a non-current asset, which means a fixed asset. Non-current asset means a fixed asset. The second example is machinery, vehicle, or equipment. This was the second example. So for the first example, you're getting 1 mark, and for the second example, you're getting 2 marks. In total, we have 2 marks. Moving on to question number 1C, outline 2 possible reasons why liquidity is important to AHG. See, the 4 mark is given. 1C, 2C, 3C, and 4C consists of 4 marks. Okay, here we need to use an interesting combination of knowledge and application. Okay, repeat with me, knowledge and application, not knowledge and analysis. We should not write knowledge and analysis, rather we should be using knowledge and application. So K means knowledge, APP means application. So let's read the first reason 1, which is to make sure the business has access to enough cash to pay day-to-day expenses. So liquidity is important to pay day-to-day expenses. This was the knowledge as shown by the current ratio, which is 1.1 is to 1. This is the application. Okay, where did we get this? I'm going to show you soon. Moving on to the second reason, having enough liquidity will allow the business to continue trading to sell flowers. Where was flower given? In the case study. In the case study, it was clearly mentioned that AHG sells flowers and plants. Okay. So while answering question number 1C, we saw that the current ratio was given 1.1 in reason number 1. Where did we got that from? From here. See, the formula for our current ratio is current asset divided by current liabilities. So current assets was 660, current liabilities was 600. If we divide 660 with 600 with the formula given, the result comes 1.1. So this was the application that we had used, and for that, for specifically question number 1C, this table was given in the case study. Okay, so that's it. Moving on to question number 1D, explain 2 advantages to AHG of its managers using delegation. See, it's of 6 marks. Remember 1D, 2D, 3D, and 4D, all are exactly of 6 marks. Okay, so the answer is, when we are going to write the answer, we need a combination of knowledge, application, and analysis. Okay, knowledge, application, and analysis. If we write knowledge, application, and analysis, we can even swap it into knowledge, analysis, and application. So in the starting, we are going to use knowledge. Then we can do a combination of application and analysis, or analysis and application. Both are correct. Okay, so advantage 1, since the whole question is of 6 marks, in advantage 1, total consists of 3 marks, advantage 2 total consists of 3 marks. 3 plus 3 is equal to 6. So let me break down the answer for you. You can see that in advantage 1, we've used knowledge. In explanation, we will be using application and analysis. Again, in advantage 2, we will be using knowledge. In explanation, we will be using analysis and application. Okay, here in explanation 1, we have used application and analysis. Here in explanation 2, we have used analysis and application. See, we have swapped it. Application, analysis, analysis, application. Both are correct. Okay, so let me read it out. The advantage number 1, managers will have more time to focus on important complex tasks. The question was, again I'm repeating it, explain two advantages to AHG of managers using delegation. So when a manager is delegating his or her responsibility to his or her subordinates, this is an advantage for the manager because the manager will now have more time to focus on other things, okay, other important things. This was the knowledge. What was the application analysis? So such as improving liquidity, the manager can focus on improving the liquidity, and so there will be better, quicker decision making for the overall company. That is the analysis. Okay, advantage 2. In advantage 2, the answer would be quality of managers' work is often improved and managers are less likely to make mistakes. If a manager is working with 100 different projects, it becomes very pressurizing for the manager, and the manager cannot usually focus on a specific project. So when the manager is delegating some work to its subordinates, okay, subordinates means employees who work under a manager. So when the manager is delegating some works to the subordinates, what happens is the quality of the manager's work is often improved, okay, and they're likely to make less mistakes. That was the knowledge. What is the analysis and application? As a result, this will lead to a better business reputation. Okay, that was the analysis, and of its business, of its garden products. That is the application. So overall, the reputation will increase. That is the analysis. But what does the business produce? The business produces garden products. That was the application. Moving on to question number 1E, which is, do you think competitive pricing is the best method for an established business to use? Justify your answer. It is also of 6 marks. Okay. Remember, in question number 1E, 2E, 3E and 4E, each of them consists of 6 marks. And we need to write a combination of 2 knowledge, 2 analysis and 2 evaluations. Repeat with me, 2 knowledge, 2 analysis and 2 evaluation. Okay, so before reading it out, let me first of all pick out the knowledge, analysis and evaluations. Number 1, we have knowledge over here. You can see over here, first knowledge, then 1 analysis, another knowledge, another analysis, finally 2 evaluations. So if I distribute the 6 marks, which means 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark, 4 mark, 5 and 6. 6 marks are done. Okay, so remember, when you are writing a business studies question answer, when you are receiving 6 marks, in order for you to get 6 marks, it's a completely scientific approach. You can exactly get 6 out of 6 if you follow this strategy. So let me read out the question once again for you. Do you think competitive pricing is the best method for an established business? So competitive pricing will not discourage customers from buying the product. This is knowledge number 1. So the business can maintain customer loyalty. Okay, so when you're writing a 6-mark question number 1E, 2E, 3E and 4E, what you're going to use is you're going to write 1 advantage, 1 disadvantage and then an evaluation. So the advantage of using competitive pricing is that it will not discourage customers from buying the product. So the business can maintain customer loyalty. So competitive pricings are also used by Coke and Pepsi, Colgate and Pepsodent, right? So the customers will not be discouraged. This is the first knowledge. As a result, they can maintain customer loyalty. This is analysis. Now, let's talk about the disadvantages. However, if the business bases their prices solely on competitors, then the business might not be able to cover costs. This is knowledge, which makes it difficult for them to break even. Okay, so for example, some products that you're making might be more costly than your competitors' products. In that case, it will be hard for the business to survive. Now, let's talk about the evaluation. No, as it depends on what they sell, while the business cannot ignore what other businesses charge, especially if it's a competitive market. But if the business has a good reputation, which an established business might have, this is the first evaluation, it may be able to use other pricing methods that allow it to charge more. So in evaluation, what they're saying is, let me tell you an example of iPhone. Okay, so iPhone charges premium pricing, even though they're in a competitive market with Samsung and other phones, but they always focus on premium pricing because they don't really care what the competitors are doing, because they're only focusing on their quality, right? This is what's written over here. So if you're in a competitive market, you might have to charge competitive pricing, but if you can distinguish yourself from the competitors, then only in that case, if you're an established business, you can also charge high prices. So that's the end of question number 1A, B, C, D and E. For business, commerce and economics tuitions, you can connect with Muhammad Ishtiaq bin Zaman sir at 01685 221141 or email us at thebusinessstarBD@gmail.com.